other new projects in the at Petrobras. I'm married. I have a little daughter. My daughter, it's almost 6 years. It's like you have the kids have many energy in the weekend. And I love running. I love swimming, and I think it's these little things about me.
All right, that's awesome. Of course, I already know you, Katiana, and maybe you, Lucas. When you start to talk, I can remember. But guys, we are live on YouTube, and it's important to people who didn't know you to know a little bit about you, right? And you, Lucas, can you introduce yourself, please?
Okay, did my son improve?
Yeah, it's good. I can understand you perfectly.
Okay. My name is Lucas. I am 22 years old. I live in São Paulo. I've been working as programmer for 3 years. I like very much. In my free time, I usually play soccer on Sunday and sometimes watch series. I've been on TNT since last year, but I don't remember the start date exactly. Curious, I also work on Petrobras project Katiana.
Oh, that's a coincidence.
Yes, it's a coincidence. You
Right.
you work in what is sector? I think is sector. Setor? I think it's
I
setor.
work at Coopera, System
Oh,
Coopera.
oh no. I work. It's because Petrobras it's bigger. I work in the with SMS, safety and health engineer, but I focus in the SMS in the new projects. Before the projects go into the building the new ships.
Oh, good. I understand. The focus of my products are the commodities, for example, bolt, flanges, valves, among others.
Oh,
All
it's
right.
amazing. It's a big coincidence.
All right, that's great, be here today to talk with people so how can I say with so intelligent, Lucas and you, Katia, congratulations. But before we start, I had to say some rules about Talk and Talk and say a little bit to the guys on YouTube who we are. So here in Talk and Talk, we aren't, I'm not a teacher, and the guys here talking with me, Kachana and Lucas and other ones, they aren't teachers. So we aren't here to teach you anything, guys. My mission here is only to manage our conversation and the subject of our conversation. But guys, please feel free to talk about everything that came to your mind related to the subject or not, because in English or maybe in our life, when we are talking with other people, maybe we go a little bit far from the subject. So the main point of Talk and Talk and our conversation classes is focus on what is more important, and it's get a fluency talking like we are in a country who speak in English. So if you are living outside or abroad Brazil, maybe you start to talk about sports like us, and then you change your subject to talk to other thing, and isn't a problem. But our questions here, it's only to guide us and isn't a rule. Okay, so I'll send you the questions in the chat, and please can you say if you receive, guys, the questions in the chat. Channel, Lucas, did you receive the questions or not?
Yes, yes.
All right. So we can start our conversation about this. I saw the last question. It was, I forget the word, but I say the last question here because I forget the word, truncate. I don't know in English. All right. So we are to talk about sports. And Lucas, you already say you like to play soccer. All right. And when you think about sports, the question number one is about this. Which technology brands and companies came to your mind when you think about sports?
Currently, I think Instagram. In soccer, for example, it has called me a new way of earning money for player in the marketing. Uh, I remember other bookmaker.
I
There
don't
is
know.
always a brand of the companies in the games for me. And
All
you?
right. All right. That's awesome because this Instagram and isn't the first brand came to my mind when I think about sports, you know. In my opinion, I was answered this like Nike, Adidas, Puma, those kind of things, you know,
Oh,
because
really, really, really?
but it's
Don't-
my opinion, and that's the most interesting part about our conversations here in Talk Can Talk, because everyone had other ideas, you know, and isn't a problem. But it was really interesting you saying about Instagram. As I say, when I think about brands related to sports, those big brands came to my mind. But when you are talking about this, I remember other one. I don't know if you know that smartwatch. I don't have smartwatch, but a Amazfit, do you know? I don't know exactly what is the brand behind this kind of smartwatch, but came to my mind, and I'm only talking. And you, Kachan, you are do you have one?
Yes, I use one a Masfiti. It's better. It's good.
All right. And what do you think about this? What brands came to your mind when you think about sports?
I think when I think it's because I'm running. The first company I remember is Nike, because the sneakers, I don't remember the name of tennis. It's Nike. It's good, and Fila. They're very good brand. I think I remember these two names because I think it's these names. It's very strong. It went between the runners.
All right. And you talk about Fila, and that's a brand who how can I say, I didn't have so much sneakers from Fila. But I remember other brand, Olympus, and I was thinking Fila and Olympus, it's a brand located here in Brazil, or it's a global brand. I don't know. Do you know, guys?
I think the Fila it's around the world, but I think as Olímpicos it's I think it's made of in Brazil, and it's not common in the other countries.
All right. I don't know exactly, but I will write this to search this after our conversation, because This gives me some curiosity, you know. All right, let's move on. Guys, who can read the next question and start to answer, please?
I read, what sports use technology nowadays? Give us example. I think the best example of this is the football, because I see many research using the data with the players, and you choose a very good player for one. I don't remember partida, because now the coach monitoring the brains, the um, respiration, I don't remember, but many things in the players, and because of this the coaches choose one player or the other player for one partida. And I think in the football these things is very strong now. Use technology and smart watchings and data and many other things, and choose the players of the because of the results.
All right, so you are talking about this, about data and sports, and you talk a little bit about soccer, and I totally agree with you, because I think isn't a sport today, how can I say, big sport who are being watching for thousands of people who don't put this in practice, you know, analyzing data about the players and the teams and those kind of things, of course. But soccer, the last, I don't know, the last 10 or 12 years came this more stronger. And you, Lucas, what do you think about this? You talk about soccer. You agree, disagree, or had other thing in your mind?
I agree. Good examples. Today has a tool called VAR that helps reference during the matching decision make. For example, this tool has a good alternative because before there are many humans errors in decisions in the match, for example.
All right, all right. It's in part the VAR technology and those kind of things, because you this way you can have how can I say, a fair play, you know, being more fair and don't do big mistakes. But I think sometimes even with VAR, these mistakes happen. But I 100% of how can I say this? I think it's really important to use technology to deal with those kind of situations, you know. But in my opinion, when I think sports and technology, using technology, I was thinking more about running, like Katiana say, because today you had so much technology involving in the process of running, you know. You had better shoes to run, and you had clothes who help the guys to run better, and and you had more technology, you know. If you are a pro athlete, someone can film and scan you running and your heartbeat and smartwatch and other kinds of technology to extract. I think it's this word, extract the best of the player, you know. And it's really interesting, this situation, because when you think in the past, maybe I don't know, 20, 30, or 40 years ago. Of course, there was better technologies, but I think today we had a boom in the sports area, everything people, I think humanity is getting closer to the limit, of what someone can do, but the technology give to at least 2, 3, 4% more energy or data, or maybe push the limit, if this can happen and it's possible. I don't know exactly, but it's the impression I had today. I think you will never see someone running, for example, 30 kilometers per hour, 30 kilometers per hour, because it's something impossible for someone. But today it's more common when you watch a guy run 1, 2, 3 hours running 20 kilometers per hour, but this in the past isn't so common. But I think this is the result of technology in these parts today. So let's go to the next topic. How technology in sports is affecting the way spectator consumes content. All right, that's a good one. And I will ask you, Lucas, to start to answer this, because you talked about VAR, and I remember when VAR came an idea to soccer, people was talking about this, how this can how people who are out watching soccer could deal with this, the time breaks and those kind of situations. What do you think about this? Technology is changing or not? Lucas, are you there?
For me, in this question, the adaptation in beginner is very bad, but after uh, improved a lot.
All right. And you, Kachan, you think about this? Maybe technology helps sports get more people watching, more spectators, or not changing the way people consume this, or no? What do you think?
I think, like Lucas said, in when you have a new concept, I think you have a big wall in front of the people. But I think after one time, the people use more this technology. And now, for example, I don't like football, but I think it's not possible now you return with the old thoughts in football without VAR, because the people now use this technology and understand this technology. And I think when we start with a new concept, I think you have sometimes I don't remember preconceito in English, but I think in the beginning every time it's difficult, but after one time the people use more and understand the technology.
All right. In my opinion, maybe today people don't watch sports like in the past. Because, for example, if you want to watch someone go running, you had to be in there to watch, And maybe if you want to watch your, how can I say, your team playing, for example, soccer team, you had to live next that team to watch the play, So with the technology like radio, television, and other ones today with the internet, I'm I'm living in Ponta Grossa, Paraná, but how can I say this? Eu torço. I'm a Palmeirense, for example, and it's a soccer team far away from my city, but I had a soccer team here in my city. It's called Operário Ferroviário, but I never go watch a game from Operário. And I think this can happen in other cities, and with other people who don't watch the local team but watch other ones. And it's okay, isn't a problem for me, but I think this only can happen because technology help this. I'm not here to discuss who team is the best or not, isn't my intention, but if we didn't have those kind of technology, this couldn't help. So yes, in my opinion, technology affect the way people who watch and consume content about sports. I know I had a friend of mine who are addicted to watch NFL, futebol americano, but he don't live on USA. He lived here in Brazil. He lived in my city, and this only can happen because today it's more easier to watch those games because we had internet. So yes, technology changed the way we consume content about sports. So let's move on. Lucas, Katiana, someone can read number 4. I think it's number 4.
Yeah, yes, I can read number 4. How can technology be used in sports being far with everyone? Being far with everyone. I think it's when you think about one good example with VAR, for example, it's very far away for everyone because it's not a technology for the common people. For example, for you, I think the VAR it's one example because it's very far away for our reality. But for the other example, when I use a smartwatch, I monitor my running and my swimming pool. It is a technology, and now I know about my pacing when I'm running or how meters I swimming in the swimming pool, because in the past I don't like counting the numbers of I'm going to the one between the sides in the swimming pool, and with a smartwatch with one touch it's possible. I'm swimming for 1 kilometers, 2 kilometers, and this kind of technology it's common, but the VAR I think it's far away for our reality.
All right. It's a good point of view. And when we are talking, I think a little bit about other situation, but I want to listen from you, Lucas, before I give my point of view. What do you think about this? Technology can help being fair with everyone or not?
For me, I think it's helping in decision making. This makes sport fair. In volleyball, for example, there is a super camera that helps when the ball reaches in the line or not,
All right.
more or less. I think it's helps a game and to be for me. And you?
All right. I think the main point of this question is talk about this, what you and Kachan talked, and be fair in the play. If was a point or not, you give the example about volleyball, and I remember what you were talking when the ball hits the floor. That camera helped to know if was on the line or not, and of course, it's a way to be fair. But I was thinking if technology isn't sometimes unfair with other people, For example, what came to my mind? I like to run, for example, but I'm not a pro. I'm not a guy who had a lot of investments in my running. But let's say someone who is a pro player who likes to run. I the principal name who came to my mind, Vanderlei Silva. I don't know if you know that guy, but let's thinking about this. If technology sometimes can be unfair with other players. For example, a guy who is far home, he don't have access to technology to know about this, the way he run, or I don't know, our technology food, today we had technology, even food to get more protein or more carbohydrates. I don't know exactly. And it's fair, this guy who don't have so much access to technology running with other guy who had a lot of access to technology. This can be fair or unfair. What do you think about this, guys? What do you think, Lucas and Katiana? I want to listen from you. It's fair or not? É justo ou injusto, those kind of situations?
It's a difficult question. I think I think the technology, when you use for improve your how do you say this word in English? Improve your results. I think it's good. But if you are but for the other hand, if the opponent don't have this same technology, I think it's not fair because it's not the. I think sometimes the technology it's very the price it's very high. It's not for everyone, and if you use, sometimes you have a very a good advantage when you compare for the other competitors. But I think it's uma faca de dois gumes.
Yeah, it's a hard situation, and this was my intention to bring this kind of idea to our conversation. And you, Lucas, what do you think about this? It's fair or unfair if someone had more access to technology and those kind of things? What do you think?
I think so, but it's questionable because with technology, performance improves a lot. Depend on the situation, the match, the liga, among others.
All right. I think this question it's bigger than only talking about sports, because if you think about this, you can bring this discussion to other topics, like it's fair a guy who don't have so much money, for example, and are studying to be a doctor here in Brazil and playing the same vestibular, I don't know how to say vestibular, with a guy who had a lot of money, who studied in the best schools of the country. It's fair or unfair? I'm not here to give an answer, but I think it's the same situation, you know, talking specifically about sports. Sometimes when the match starts, you know, when someone's count 3, 2, 1, let's go, the race started far away from that time, you know, because that poor guy who had less access to technology are running and running against his life to do his best. Of course, the other guys who had more money, more access to technology are trying to do their best too. I'm not judging anyone, but I think sometimes the race is more harder for some people than to others, you know, and it's okay. It's the way the world we live happen. I heard this expression in a TV show sometime. Shit happens, you know. Merdas acontecem. We can't do something to change this, but it's good sometimes thinking about this. So let's move on. Which way technology can help athletes? I think we talked a little bit about this, but if you had some other points of view, it's good to talk. What do you think, Katian, about this? Which way technology can help?
I think the technology can help because it's possible for you monitoring your exercise and improve during the exercise. So in the other day, for example, one simple example, I'm running and for example, now in this morning, I see I do I think 90 kilometers for 90 minutes for 1 kilometer, and I have dengue 20 years ago, and my body it's tá doída ainda, and in that 3 weeks ago, it's common. I'm running 1 kilometer in 6 or 7 minutes. My time
Your
now
pace.
yes, my pace now it's worse because I'm sick and I'm not running. I think it's almost 20 days, and it's a good example because I see I need to improve my running, but I understand because I'm sick and it's okay. It's part of the process. I were talking today for the running, or one good example. It's because I hate counting the numbers of meters in the swimming pool. I hate. For me, I love swimming, but I don't like it, counting the meters I'm swimming. It's very chato, boring. And with the smartwatch, with one touch, I see. Today I'm swimming 1 kilometer, 2 kilometers, and it's for me. It's for the common people. It's a good example of use technology.
All right, of course, it's a good point. But when you are talking, Katiana, I remember you live on the beach, all right? You live on the beach, and
Yes.
you talk about swimming on the pool, but you don't like to swimming on ocean, on the sea, mar?
No. In the past, I thought about this idea, but the life is very. It's. I'm running a lot, and I need time for go to the sea and swimming. But it's not far away from my house. It's 5 minutes with the car. And I think it's because I'm lazy, and the swimming pool is in front. The club with the swimming pool is in front of my house, and for me it's more easier go to the swimming pool.
Yeah, and it's a, how can I say, it's a safe environment. I'm not a guy who had experience on the sea, but I think it's a little bit harder than swimming on the pool. I don't know because I don't swimming on the pool too, but I think it's a safer place than on an external environment. All right. And you, Lucas, what do you think about question number 5? Which way technology can help the athletes, the pro and the amateurs like me and Katiana and you?
Good examples, Katiana. Advanced in the technology plus medicine helps athletes in the treatment and the prevention of the injuries. This evolution is in all areas about the doctor and training. Curious today they are able to analyze the picture better the player picture gramado this is very good for me. Sports have many success case of the great recoveries of the athletes. That's good. That's it.
Yeah, I remember this specifically talking about soccer, but when I read this question, I remember Ronaldo. I don't know how old are you, Lucas, but Ronaldo was a really good player in the past Brazil had, but sometimes he gets some injury in his knee. I think it's in the knee, but he could came back to play because technology helped him on his recovery. If you are, how can I say, you aren't a pro player like Ronaldo, you like to play soccer and you hurt your knee, maybe you can't go back to do your activity, because you don't have the same access like him to get better. So I think this way technology, of course, can help people to get better and their performance, their health, and know better about the situation they are now. Katiana give the example. He get sick with, I think, dengue, all right? And now he, of course, when you are running or exercising yourself, you feel, man, I'm not so good today. I'm a little bit lazy. My body, it's more heavier today. You know the feeling when you feel you aren't so good those days, but when you have metrics, for me, a guy who worked like a software engineer like you, Lucas, I like to know data, concrete data, to watch my pace today, my speed, it's lower. Why this happened? This happened because I was sick like 20 days ago, like Katiana say, or even yesterday I go on a barbecue and I eat so much, and this is the reason today I'm a little bit late. So it's good. I sent in the chat, I made a quick research about Fila and Olympus. So Olympus, it's a Brazilian brand, but Fila, it's an Italian brand. I didn't know about this. And it's this is the reason I really like our conversations, because we are always learning new things. So question number 6, is the esports thinking legend? What I was talking about this. Today we had some discussion about this, if esports are sports or not, some people say there aren't sports, because if you are sit down on a chair, you aren't you don't are doing some sport, but how hard is be the best, for example, player on Free Fire, Free Fire, and Counter-Strike, and those kind of things. What do you think, guys, about this? This count or not like a sports, like a sport?
Oh.
Please, someone answer. What do you think? It's legitimate or not?
In that case, no, I don't. I don't particularly follow it.
In your opinion, isn't a sport, Lucas? Yes?
No, but I think cool to have a new job and career possibilities, and esports provides that. But I don't like.
All right. And you, Tatiana, what do you think?
I think it's not a count like a sport, because you stay sitting in the chair for a long time. No, it's not a sport. In the sport, you liberate endorphin and other hormones. And in this case, no. I think it's no. I think like Lucas, because sometimes it's a new profession, because I see this now. You have many different competitions with esports, but for me, it's not a sport, because you don't use your body for running, for do exercise. For me, it's not a sport.
All right. How can I say this? I respect your opinion, guys, but I had a different way of thinking. When you look to a pro player, soccer, for example, Cristiano Ronaldo or Messi, they are the best doing what they do. They good. They take a look on what they eat, and they train a lot to achieve the. I will use the word perfection. They are really good on what they do, but they had to do exercise, they had to eat better, they had to train a lot, to be the best. And I had some experience in the past, because in my church I had, how can I say, I deal with teenagers. And I think 2 or 3 years ago, it was a fever here in Brazil, people talking about Free Fire. And I'm not a big fan of video games and those kind of things, but I was reading about this game, because I want to talk better with the teenagers. And I read a story, a guy who changed his life and the life of his family, because he was the best player on the world about Free Fire. I think the name of the guy is Nobru. I don't know exactly, but it was a poor guy with a poor cell phone who was annoying his father, because his father got a better cell phone than him. Daddy, can you give me your cell phone to play? And that poor guy became the best player on Free Fire on the world. But after he got win some championships. He gets some, how can I say, patrocinio, some, I don't know, I don't remember the word. And after he get this patrocinio, he go to study and train his body and his mind to be even better than he is. So when you compare with, of course, it's a small sport than soccer, but he is the best one in the world. But he do the same process than other pro players like Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi. So he get train his body, he train his mind, he start to eat better to be a better player, you know. So in my opinion, this count like a sport because you had to invest time, invest energy, invest effort to be better. Of course, you are sit down on a chair and you aren't moving your body. But after this part of training in front of computer or in front of the cell phone, those guys get out to train his body too because they want the best for on the match they are competing. So in my opinion, you have those feelings like Katiana talked about endorphin and those kind of things when the guy won a match or a championship. Of course, it's something really good. But this is my opinion, and I respect her. I respect your opinion, Lucas and Katiana. But when I got this experience with reading about the history of this guy, this changed my mind. But in the past, I don't agree. E-sport isn't a sport because you don't move on, you know. Lucas, want to say something?
One point. I think it is another games modality plus entertainment.
And this is the reason I think this had so influence to teenagers nowadays, you know, because they are so connected with their cell phones on the internet and maybe sit down on a chair on your couch to watch someone else playing soccer or I don't know, basketball or other sport are boring for them, you know, because they are so connected, they want to do other things.
For example, today I am programmer. I am training to improve, but I am not an athlete. I am professional. The IT.
But maybe if you want, you can be an athlete being a programmer too, because we had competitions of programming,
really. Really.
And if you subscribe to a championship of programming, you had to train and to do your best and prepare yourself to that championship. So I don't know, in my opinion, this can be like Katiana used this expression, uma faca de dois legumes, uma faca de dois gumes, all right? Maybe this can be or cannot be a sport. I don't know. This is my opinion. Guys, we are running out of time, but I think we can answer one more question. Let's go to the question number 10. What is the future of sports with technology and esports? What do you think, Katiana? Are you there?
I think the esports it's improved a lot because this area with games with sports grow up a lot in the last 3 years. I think 5 years. This sector move on moving the economy now around the world, and I think the possibility of the sports grow up a lot in the next 5 years. I think it's a reality, and I think with the other sports, I think the technology improve, and for example, I think the athletics improve the how do you say your results, because with technology it's possible you're running more fast or understand what you change for do the better result.
All right. In my opinion, the sports getting more interactive if they want to deal with this new generation, maybe other kinds of technology to watch games and get more, how can I say, more shorter and more interactive. I think it's something to this way. And what do you think, Lucas?
Honestly, I cannot imagine sports has a grow a lot in the last 5-7 years. I think big companies are going to make this esports to TV open. TV aberta, TV open.
I don't know.
I
I think
I don't know.
This expression. All right, guys. I want to say thank you, everyone, to be here today. It was a pleasure for me, and we had a good conversation. This is good when you get your point of view about something and other think different from you, and you can sit down and talk without being disrespectful. All right. I sent in the chat the link to YouTube and to our server. All right. Guys, please go to the survey, give your score for this conversation. Isn't a problem. And if you had other, how can I say, other topics to talk, it's important to share. I want to say one more time, thank you, everyone. It was really good. All right. Bye-bye, Lucas. Bye-bye, Tatiana.
Bye-bye.
Next Monday,
Thank you very much. Sorry for the messes.
Yes, a problem. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.